welcome back to the Combo Cabal. I am your host Bryant Cook, and today we are playing Doomsday in Vintage, a deck that I've never played on this channel, well, at least for Vintage. And in Vintage, this deck is actually quite a bit easier to play than it is in Legacy. In Legacy, the piles can be a little bit more convoluted. In Vintage, not to put the deck down at all, because there is skill to playing the deck, but there's some training wheels. And by that, I mean, a lot of your piles are just super easy to win. You can win with just a Street Wraith in hand because you could cycle into Gush, into Black Lotus Ancestral Recall, clear your pile into a Protected Oracle. And it's just not as difficult as it is in Legacy. There's a lot of hoops in Legacy, and that's not a knock on the Vintage deck. It's just, they're two different formats, and sometimes formats like Vintage have easier cards like Black Lotus. Like, we don't even play Lion's Eye Diamond in this deck because you don't need it. So yeah, I'm not trying to put down either deck. They're both somewhat difficult to play. It's just, I think the Legacy deck is very difficult to play, where the Vintage deck, you know, I think it's probably on par with the Saga decks in terms of difficulty. So anyway, enough of that. Why don't we hop right on in? So today we are casting the card Doomsday, which is essentially a 5-card tutor. You stack the top 5 cards of your deck, everything else gets exiled. That's pretty much how it works, well, to summarize at least. And you want to put Thassa's Oracle in your pile, which says if its devotion is lower or higher than the number of cards in your deck, you win the game, something along those lines. And so when you have no deck, this just wins the game. That's what it says. And we're just looking to do that over and over. But it also has this combo with Demonic Consultation, where you can play Thassa's Oracle, play Consultation, name Ali from Cairo, you know, Shahrazad, whatever you want, and then deck yourself, and Thassa's Oracle will win the game that way. So you have this backup combo that exists in Vintage that does not exist in Legacy, which is another reason that this deck is slightly easier. But with Vintage, you also get the broken tutors, like Vampiric Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Demonic Tutor, a lot of powerful cards. And one of the weird things about this deck, and I don't mean this as a knock, is when you look at Vintage decks, you tend to think, well, every deck starts with 5 Moxen. Not Doomsday. Doomsday only plays the 3 artifacts. It doesn't even play Lotus Petal. So with all those extra slots, you get more interaction. So you're allowed to play things like Daze or Mystical Dispute. You just get more action, and the Dispute's pretty good right now because of Hull Breacher. Hull Breacher is a super popular card right now in the format, so you'll notice that's why I'm actually playing 2 additional copies in the sideboard. I actually cut a Library of Alexandria for a 3rd copy of Dispute, just to make sure that I don't lose to Hull Breacher and those blue mirrors. I think that's what I have for the deck tech for the most part. My list is fairly stock. I am playing a Force of Negation in the board to help better beat shop stacks, basically just having that additional force instead of a 4th copy of Steel Sabotage. That's what I've got. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, as always, put those in the comment section down below. I do try to answer all of them, and I will see you in match number 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw. And here we have a hand with Doomsday and a cantrip with Street Wraith, but unfortunately 0 mana. We're going to ship this. Well, this hand's pretty stacked. I don't know what you're actually supposed to bottom here. I think it's just supposed to be a land. You could argue that it should be the Mox because then you guarantee have Gush active. I'm going to keep the Mox. I think that we're likely to draw land off the Ancestral anyway. Tropical Island. Deathrite. So likely Bug. Okay, so that could be a matchup that punishes me for keeping... Wow! Easy game. Always had it. Super easy. Lucky duck. Alright, Black Lotus. Sacrifice this. Go get a copy of Underground Sea. Black mana. Doomsday, right? Like, we just go for it? Okay, we'll put Lotus into the pile. And we definitely want Oracle. I don't know. Normally you don't have both Ancestral and Gush in hand already. So I guess we could put 2 Oracles in there and then like a few lands in case they stop us here. And then they come back. I think maybe we want to put a Cycler in there actually. So add in a Street Wraith. That's 4. And then the 5th one could be something easy like a Probe. Or a Force. We probably want another land in case they go like wasteland you into oof. Alright, so hypothetically a cast Ancestral into Lotus, Street Wraith, land, Oracle, so then I have 1 extra. I think that works. Okay. So I wonder if it's actually better to put a land on top. So that way next turn I can Gush if they force the Ancestral. So land on bottom. Oracle. Lotus. Street Wraith. Okay. Ancestral Recall. Okay, so now we play Black Lotus again. Sacrifice this for blue. Cycle Street Wraith. And play Oracle with Fluster back up. Woot woot! That's how we do! Oh, I was not expecting Endurance. Damn. Max punished. I guess I could Doomsday again. Wow, I didn't even consider Endurance. Now I get punished. Yeah, that stinks. Okay. So now we have 5 cards and this Oracle does not win the game. We will put Doomsday back on top, I guess. And pass the turn. Wow. I got bodied. I guess I could have put a Force in there. Endurance wasn't even on my radar. And there's the Wasteland. Yep. Okay. And there's the oof. I even predicted Wasteland oof. Yeah, I just messed up by not thinking about endurance. That's my own fault. No excuses. I thought the fluster was good enough, but I just didn't think about endurance. Okay, let's slide this up. And here's our sideboard. I could probably make this a little bit smaller. Whoops. Sorry, I'm getting used to using the card view for sideboarding. Okay, that's better. So against Bug, we probably want these Fatal Pushes. We don't really want Force Negation. And that leaves us at 61. We probably want the second basic versus Bug, if I had to guess. Dispute Stop's leavable, but I'm not sure how good it actually is in the matchup. I wonder if you could board out artifacts versus them just to make oof bad. Like, what if you just left Lotus? I don't hate it. Let's try this out. Once again, I am not an expert at Doomsday, as you clearly saw in game number 1, where I could have beaten Endurance and just didn't, so bear with me. So this hand has everything other than more lands. We straight up lose to Wasteland. I think I'm going to keep it, though. Maybe I'm supposed to ship this. It doesn't seem like a hand that I'm supposed to mulligan, though. We do have 4 copies of Dark Ritual. I could always draw one of those. That's a Black Lotus. Green. Allosaurus Shepherd. You got it. Well, I might as well Fatal Push this. Okay, so worst case scenario, I got Wastelanded into oof. There's a single artifact in my deck. I think I'm going to let the oof go. They did play land, my bad. Necro, not ideal. Okay, so we're going to fall to 18. We have 9 more turns after this one to draw out of this situation. Draw. There's Dark Ritual. Now we just need to draw a land. Okay, so we're going to fall to 16 here. Okay, draw. Fatal Push. I think I should just discard this Necro. I think that's not the game we want to be playing. I cannot kill an Allosaurus Shepherd. Sure. Oh, I can't counter, I should say. I can kill it with this Fatal Push. Killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. They drew a second land. Tarmogoyf. Clock is on. There's mono green aggro this game. Draw. I think that means I'm dead. So I'm going to take 8 going down to 3. Yeah, I can't win. That was a bummer. Maybe I should have shipped this hand. I mean, that seemed like a keep to me. It just didn't align well versus what our opponent was doing. And I threw away game number 1. So that's on me. No fault to Doomsday. That was on me. And what a bummer. Maybe I'll learn a bit during this league. I'll see you in match number 2. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Match number 2, and I get a chance at redemption. We're on the draw against Mike Braverman, Mono White Legacy Wizard, and I think I'm going to try this one out. Okay, so we don't have a degenerate turn 1 win this round. We'll see what happens. Doomsday does tend to be better against the white decks, but it looks like Mike Braverman is playing something fair with Flooded Strand, or I'm sorry, with Scalding Tarn. Time Walk, okay. If need be, I can try to cycle the Street Wraith for force. but I'd rather not show what I've got quite yet. Mock Sapphire, you got it. 3 cards in hand. Okay, draw. And another Street Wraith. Think I'm just going to preordain here. Maybe I shouldn't. I should hold open the Fluster. But I'm going to preordain. Is Necro even what I want here? Like, I think I just want to find Oracle when I have the Demonic Consultation. Or like a Force even. So I think I'm going to bottom both of those. And a land is not ideal. Okay. I forgot to mention in the intro, I am playing 1 more days than the average person. That's because the last time that I played this deck, because I've played it in leagues before, Shops was really popular, and I felt like I wanted another free force effect, and it's sort of just a holdover from previous experiences playing this deck. Alright, Preordain. I think I keep both of these. Pass the turn. Can't tell if Mike Braverman is on like a Xerox deck or if they're just playing like a blue Tinker strategy. So still trying to figure some of this out. Let's grab the island. Don't need another Street Wraith. Days, I don't really need right now. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to wait a turn and then I'm going to go for it. I have 6 cards in hand, which is a lot. 5 now. Let's cycle this Street Wraith. If I draw Dig through time, it's a card I'm going to want to cast. And there's that Necro glued to my hand. And Doomsday. Okay. Draw. I was hoping for a land for Fluster back up, and now I'm getting punished for fetching Island by drawing these 2. I have 5 cards. So many. I think I'm supposed to just like try to draw out the counter here. And honestly, it's good for me if like I get to days. Well, they didn't allow me to. But it would have been good for me if I was allowed to daze there, because then I could have picked up my land, replayed it, and then Demonic Consultation while having Fluster up. Really wish that one of these was a land. Alright, well, I wasn't going to beat that. Okay, so that happens. And now we just pass the turn. Well, I get my Oracle trigger, but we're going to pass the turn. Think I put Dark Ritual on top. Maybe I put the land, because it allows me Necro or Doomsday moving forward. They played another copy of Scalding Tarn. Sure, I have another Oracle. I don't care about Prismatic Ending, but I think we just did get the information that they're on Xerox. So I think we're supposed to start off on Necro here. Force pitching Force. I'm gonna Force pitch Daze. They have 1 card in hand. It's Pyroblast? Okay. I will allow that to be countered, and then we will Flusterstorm this Force of Will. Woot woot. And they are hellbent, by the way. So we are going to draw we're at 13. I don't want to draw too many. I'm drawing at least 5. I know that much. I'll probably draw 7 here. So that was 5, 6, and 7. Let's move to our end step, and I'll have to discard 2. We will auto-yield to this ability. Looking pretty good for the home team. And I'm definitely discarding this Vamp. And I don't think we need Misty. when we have Gush. Exile or auto yield to that. Necro, powerful Magic the Gathering card. I won't lie, I'm still a little bit embarrassed about that endurance in match 1. Like, I don't know why that wasn't on my radar. It is my own fault. Mystic Sanctuary. Or Preordain? Okay. You have a Preordain. One on top, one on the bottom. Should I just force this? Probably, because then they can't find a Fluster. Enough toying around, let's just end it. Alright, so now it's our turn. We don't get a draw step due to Necropotence. And now we cast the Doomsday. We do have one more Thassa's Oracle left in our deck. Okay, so we'll take this Black Lotus type card. Recall, why not? We'll put a Sapphire in there because I can. I don't know. Does it even matter? I guess I could put another Doomsday in. Doomsday on the bottom. I wonder if I messed this up. I could have. If I Gush, I would have 3 left. No, that works. I believe it does. All right, return these 2. 3 cards left. And now we Ancestral. Look, even I can win with this deck. That's sad. And Oracle. We did it! We got a win! Alright, so we've defeated what I'm assuming is Jeskai, Xerox, but I'm not actually sure. So I think this is a matchup where we want Dispute. I don't think Force Negation is actually that good here, so we might want to consider boarding that out. If it is Jeskai Xerox, you can board in Fatal Push for like Lavinia. I don't think I want to board both. I think it's like pretty safe to board in one though. And then boarding in the island. And I think once again we can just board out the 2 Moxen because this isn't a speed-based matchup. Now we're at 61. I've been told that you're allowed to board out like a Mystical Tutor in like control matchups. It's not something I've ever done before. I'm just a really big fan of Mystical Tutor, but I could see it being correct. Another choice is you could board out a Street Wraith, but then you have less cards that get into your pile. And I think Mystical Tutor has some value for the Fatal Push we decided in. Tough call. Could also just board out the Time Walk, which I know it's heresy. People are like, that's power. You can't board that card out. Well, I just boarded out 2 pieces of power. And what does Time Walk really do in Doomsday? Like, it's a glorified Explorer. Yeah, I'm going to board that out. Let's go. I probably just made a bunch of people very, very upset. It's fine. I don't care. This hand, it has the Black Lotus card. It also has the Ancestral Recall card. I'm going to try it and hate myself. Ruby. Delta, okay. Volcanic Island. Dash Rags. You can have a Ragavan. Okay, what will they reveal? We have the only 0 mana artifact in our deck. That's annoying. Come on, Mike. I only have 1 Oracle left to win with. Oh, geez. Alright, so that was good because now I have Days back up. Play this Black Lotus thing. I can't help but wonder if I'm supposed to sacrifice the Lotus because if I draw Doomsday off the Ancestral, I can't win. Alright, I'm gonna sack it for blue. If they fluster, I'll fluster back. If it's just pyro, I have daze. Alright, so here I'm going to fluster. Oh, is that actually right? Because then I lose to their fluster? Wonder if I just pitch preordain. Okay, Ancestral. Let's... I could still win if I brainstorm into Doomsday, but I wouldn't want the cycler. Maybe I shouldn't have fetched. Let's cycle. I want to dig deeper. Alright, brainstorm. Put the land on the bottom and a daze. Preordain. Put both on the bottom and then draw a random card. There we go. I can't win this turn though, because I don't have two islands in play, and I don't have what is it called? A draw spell. So I could Doomsday right now, but I know that they have a dashed Ragavan. Alright, I think I'm just going to go for it. So I could cycle in a Black Lotus or Ancestral, but that's just not good enough. And they have daze. That's a bummer. Okay, so I got punished. Yeah. I think we just lost this game. Didn't find that Doomsday early enough. Yep. Do they get to search up most likely Ancestral Recall? Yep, and that's what Mike did. Alright, so we're back against a wall here. We're definitely not in the driver's seat. I mean, something, I guess. That stinks. So I have to dispute plus daze here, or daze plus fluster. I'm gonna cycle the Street Wraith for additional information. Okay, so we're gonna 2-for-1 ourselves here. Okay, and now they need to pay for the Mystical Dispute, and then we'll daze. So they have Ragavan and one unknown. Alright, draw. Necro. Okay. So if we can draw another black source, it's something. That said, they're dashing Ragavan. I don't know how good this Necro actually is. Yeah, so now we're going to fall to 7. Yep. I would have liked that Dark Ritual. You have a Dark Ret. It does play around days. You got it. Okay, so it looks like they're straight blue-red Xerox. Oh no, we saw the ending, so they are Jeskai. Okay, so we lost this one. We're just gonna go to game 3. I think I might just resubmit. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Alright, game number 3. We're on the play. This seems fine. Okay, so it's interesting. We have turn 1 Vamp for what is it called? Doomsday. We have Fluster backup. We also have Gush. But I could just like play it a little bit slower and preordain, which I think is the play here, because that turn 2 line that does win the game loses to daze, and I just don't want to do that again. I'd like to play around that if possible. I don't really want either of these. I didn't really want Mystical either. Okay, so not really what I wanted, but we'll see if we can make it work. I guess I could play it a little bit slower too and just like Mystical for Ancestral. Draw. That was good. So now my mystical is now a force pitch, which I actually really like. So now the plan is that we're going to pass and just Vampiric for Doomsday on their end step, and then untap and try to win. Am I supposed to just jam into their open mana? I would have double backup, but it's risky. I mean, I could also just go get Necro here. And Necro doesn't lose the Fluster. Maybe that's the play. Draw. Dark Ritual. Necropotence. Fluster that, Mike Braverman. Force pitching Consider. Force pitching Mystical Tutor. They have 5 in hand. Okay. This looks like a Flusterstorm. Alright, so we're going to let the force get countered, and then we're going to fight over the force of negation. But I think I might try to bait them a little bit and play the Gush first to see if they'll Pyroblast it. Float a blue. Cast Gush. And I think I'm supposed to Fluster just to make sure the Necro resolves. Because if I Mystical Dispute, they could still Pyroblast. Alright, so they have 4 cards. Necro? Ah, they had the days. Okay, so Necro did not work out. Oh, that was brutal. I mean, we still have Dark Ritual, plus, like, we could draw Doomsday and be fine. We have, like, Dark Ritual Doomsday plus protection, if we can just rip Doomsday. Alright. We're up to 3 lands. Draw a force. Okay. So we'd have double backup for Doomsday if we can manage to draw it. They're fetching. What are you trying to cast? Is it Teferi? Dakfaden? Teferi. Narset. Dispute. Okay, so they have 3, and we're still just begging to draw Doomsday. Draw. Preordain, okay. Let's cast it. Double Daze. Those can go on the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to avoid Daze here and just pass the turn. It could bite me in the butt, but I think it's the correct play. Mystic Sanctuary, getting back some sort of counter magic here. Flusterstorm. That hurts. That's fine. There's nothing in their graveyard to flash back. I can't beat that Flusterstorm right now, though, which is kind of awkward. If I Dark Ritual Doomsday, they Fluster. I could force 1 copy and pay, but then I'm dead to the other 2 cards in their hand. I think I'm supposed to just pass here. Okay. So now they have 4 cards. Ponder. Ugh. So now they get to flashback Ponder. We're going to start being buried. Did not shuffle. So now they get another good card off this Ponder with the Dreadhorde Arcanist trigger. And no shuffle again. Don't think I'm getting this game. Okay, take our draw. So I can try to resolve the Doomsday here. It just stings because if they Fluster, I can Dark Ritual, but then I lose to Daze. So now I will cast Dark Ritual. 4 cards in their hand. They're forcing Dark Ret. Pitch is Dak Faden. Well, force back. Hope for the best. They have 2 cards. Pyroblast. Yep. Womp womp. Alright, so I'm not going to concede, because we could still, in theory, top deck another Doomsday and them not to have anything. It's pretty unlikely, but it's possible, so I'm just going to hope that I draw another Doomsday. Alright, so they don't have anything to flashback this time. 2 cards in hand. Time Walk, okay. Now we fall to 11. Alright, so they still have 2 cards. Alright, come on, deck. Doomsday. I'll go to 9. Cycle. Womp womp. Alright. So we're going to fall to 8. Come on, deck. Give me Ancestral Recall or Doomsday. Let's go. Draw. Demonic Consultation could theoretically do it now. They do have 3 cards, so it's likely that they have something. Including another copy of Pyroblast, but I don't know how much longer I can afford to sit here. Alright, draw. Let's probe. I'll pay mana. Misstepped. Sure. So you might be thinking, like, why don't you play out Thassa's Oracle as a blocker? Our opponent has Pyroblast in their graveyard, so that doesn't work. It just also reduces my chances of actually winning as well. There's old Rags. Our clock has been, well, their clock has been increased. And they get the top card of our deck, which is Flooded Strand. I didn't want that, so that worked out. This Daze is not live when they have 4 mana, though. Drew a land anyway. I think I'm supposed to just sit on it. So they're about to put me to 1. Okay, so they're going to dash Ragavan. This will be my last draw step. Okay. Dispute. Not a card that wins the game. I think we want to find Demonic Consultation exactly here. How about that? Okay, so we can't be literally, like, if our opponent has anything in hand, we're dead. So we're just gonna go for it. Tapping 2 mana. Dress Down, a card I cannot beat. They got me. Oh well. So now we are 0-2 in this league. It is what it is. We're just gonna keep on playing. Playing your favorite combo deck in Paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grape Shot, everyone's favorite storm win condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, 8th Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in Paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice. We've got you covered. make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. We're back at it. Another chance at redemption, round number 3. We're on the play. And this gets Doomsday with force backup on turn 2. We're going to keep it. Okay. And let's play out the jet. Why not? Pass the turn. Mishra's Workshop. Okay. You can have a Nettle Cyst. I will not stop that from happening. That was the least scary thing my opponent could have played on turn 1. Alright, so let's cast that Mystical Tutor. And to think, they could have gotten Tinker here, and instead we're casting Doomsday. I don't know what I was thinking. Should have stayed home today. Black Lotus. Doomsday. We'll put the Lotus back in the pile. Ancestral Recall. Oracle. Oracle and a land? Technically, it doesn't go down to 0 cards, but I think that's okay. Alright, so we're going to stack the 2 Oracles on the bottom. Land, Lotus, Ancestral. Good enough. Pass the turn. Wasteland? Sure. Could have floated mana. Didn't do it. Oh well. I'm gonna let that go. That card just doesn't matter. Okay. I'd feel foolish if they followed up with like Mana Crypt into Sphere, which is why I don't think it's worth countering the Foundry Inspector. Okay, play the Black Lotus, sack Lotus, Oracle, call it a day. Woot woot. Alright, so I finally got a game win. How does it feel? It feels great. Now let's just focus on getting a few more of those. So we want these Steel Sabotages, the extra island. We're going to board out Dispute. What else can we board out? Probably this Misstep. Not very good against shop strategies, in my opinion. You can board out Flusters. Those can get out of here. That's 60. Let's see if we want anything else, though, or if we would rather have Misstep over something else. You could also board in Fatal Push. Maybe you board out Dig for a push, because Dig's like kind of slow. I don't think you're supposed to board out Necro. I also am unsure if you're supposed to board in the second Fatal Push. I'm not an expert at this deck, as you can see by my perfect play so far. This is a deck I would like to be better at. That said, in Vintage, a lot of people play Archive Trap, including the shop stacks, by the way. And I know that I'm boarding out Flusterstorm and Mystical Dispute, and they could be boarding an Archive Trap. But what I found is that the hate cards in Vintage are so much worse for Doomsday than they are in Legacy. Like in Legacy, over the last couple months, people have only started to play Torp Orb, where people have been playing Archive Trap in Vintage for a while now. And I don't think we're supposed to ship this. We have turn 1 Force with Steel Sabotage for turn 2. We have a Doomsday. All this hand wants to do is draw Dark Ritual or Black Lotus. Okay, let's start it. Saga. Black Lotus. You can have a Mana Vault, 6 mana. You can have a Ravager. You can have another Ravager, that's fine. Ballista. So they're just going for a really fast win this game. They have 1 card. Maybe I should cycle the Street Wraith. Land. Okay, so I didn't really get a choice. So we can also bounce an artifact, which means if one of these Ravagers gets large, we can just bounce it and kind of wreck them. Or I could draw Fatal Push. That was good too. I would imagine they're going to sacrifice their Mana Vault to a Ravager. Nope, just going to take the damage, I guess. Okay. Now Saga goes up to 2. Alright. So they're getting in. Will they sacrifice anything? No is the answer. Draw. Another Doomsday. Would have liked some acceleration this game. I mean, I don't think we're in a terrible spot here. But I am pressured into fetching my Underground Seas before they could possibly get something like Needle. Okay, so now they can make another construct with this Ancient Tomb and then search up a 1-mana artifact. Alright. Soaring. Sure. 2 cards in hand. What is the play? Alright, no blockers. I'm going to push the construct. They should sacrifice it to a Ravager to deal an extra damage. And I'll take 3 going down to 10. Alright, they have 4 open mana. What is this? Nettle Cyst. Doesn't really make a difference if I counter this or bounce the token, I think. Let's counter this, I guess. Alright, so I think my best draw is Gush. And I'm dead if I don't draw Gush. Alright, let's see what it is. Doomsday number 3 is not going to do it. Alright, so we're headed to game 3 here. Too fast. Too furious. Alright. Let's try taking out the Necro. It could be the wrong move, but I'm going to try it out. Game 3 on the play. I mean, I want to keep this hand, I just don't think you're supposed to. Ship it. Alright, this is better already. Keep. I can't but wonder if you're supposed to keep the Oracle, so that way if you draw Consultation, you just easily win. Or if you really want to keep the Preordain. I think you're supposed to bottom the Oracle. Alright, I'm going to start off by cycling the Street Wraith. Ding. Ancestral Recall. No Black Source, a little bit awkward. Go to 16. So we boarded out Dig. We've already used Ancestral. I don't know what this actually gets that we want, other than like Dark Ritual. Let's cast this. Those are both pretty good. Okay. Emerald, Ancient Tomb. I'm gonna force that. Okay, so now I have a decision on whether or not I want to draw the other Seal Sabotage or if I just want to Mystical Tutor my upkeep for Dark Rit. I think we just go get Dark Rit because I have to wait a full turn cycle otherwise. So Dark Ritual. They have 5 cards. Whoops, undo. Dark Ritual, Doomsday. Oracle. Oracle. Put a Steel Sabotage in there, I guess. Wonder if I put an extra land instead. Maybe an island. Ancestral, that's 4. Maybe another Sabotage on the bottom. So I'd cast Ancestral and then have those as backup. I don't know if this is correct or not. I just don't have the experience with this deck. Alright, pass the turn. Okay. 4 mana. Iron the Great Creator. That doesn't matter here. I did not build a Black Lotus pile. Alright, they're choosing an artifact from outside the game, so it could be something like Tormod's Crypt, because that's a 0-mana artifact, although I'm not even sure if they play that. Thorn of Amethyst, sure. Draw. Play the Ancestral. Land Oracle. Ding dong. We want a match! Ah. Alright, we're 1-2. Let's just see if we can bounce back on the last two and finish this with a positive record. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Alright, match number 4. We're on the draw. I think that this hand is likely a keep. Mana Crypt, okay. Chops again. On the draw is going to be difficult. Ravager, okay. We're going to try to find a force for that. Cycle. We have 5 hits. Ding! Cycle. We found both of them. Let's pitch the one that doesn't cause us to lose life. And I'm going to pitch this Dazed because they have 5 mana. They're unlikely to need more draw. Alright, so we're going to cast this Preordain. We are looking for Dark Ritual. Okay. I'd take a Black Lotus. I don't think I'm supposed to keep the land. It's too much time to give our opponent. Okay. So they could just sack the Mana Crypt here to make the Ravager larger. And they lost the flip. Sure. 2 cards in hand. 1 card in hand. We will force that. I don't know why they didn't tap the Ancient Tomb, though. It could have been a 3/3. So we're in a tight spot because this Ravager could be a 5/5 here. Kind of surprised they didn't make it one. Draw. Ah, you're kidding me. We're just going to die to this Ravager. I guess I could draw like an Ancestral. I mean, they should just make this into a 12, or I'm sorry, a 6/6. Okay, so they've at least made it a 2/2. Maybe I was supposed to play Oracle last turn. They decided on 4/4. Okay. See what our draw step has. So I can hardcast the Doomsday, but I'd be dead on board to the Ravager. So I'm getting a little bit punished for not playing the Oracle last turn. Damn, that's my own fault. Like, this game could have been winnable if I had played out the Oracle. I mean, I suppose it's still technically winnable. Alright, so our fetch resolved. We'll get this Underground Sea and play the Thassa's Oracle. Alright. The Street Wraith wins it. Pass the turn. We just have to block with our Oracle. 4 mana. We can safely daze that. Ugh. Okay. Block. Okay, so now we're gonna draw the Street Wraith, fetch down to 7. Alright, I managed to find the win, it just took me an extra turn. Now we cast Doomsday, this will put me to 3, and then the Street Wraith will put me to 1. So we need Gush. That's the first card. So let's find where the Gush is. Okay. And then Black Lotus Ancestral. Ancestral actually doesn't do it for me. Because I would deck myself with the Ancestral. So I can't put that in there. Oracle. So I would cycle into Gush. 4 cards. And then the Gush would bring me to 2 cards, and that means that the Oracle just wins. So let's put another Oracle in there, I guess, on the bottom. There's nothing that cycles for free. Not that it really matters, but... I mean, this should just win. I guess I can put Probe in there. Let's just look at it one more time. So I cycle into Gush, draw these Oracle. Yeah, that does it. Okay, so Oracle, Probe, Lotus, Gush. All right, go to 1 life. Play Gush. Play Black Lotus. We're going to pay mana. That's the thing here. Pay mana, not life. Draw. Oracle. We did it. We done did it. Look at that. Get out of here, shops. I did not think I was going to win that game. Alright, so now we bring in the Steel Sabotages again. These pushes. I think we want the Force. Okay, let's get rid of those Flusterstorms. This Mental Misstep. Dig. The Necro. It's 61. And the Dispute. Alright. Easy peasy. I do like the forces for the shops matchup. That's something that I found a lot when testing for Eternal Weekend. And this hand's pretty good. We'll try this. Sphere Resistance. I'm going to force that. Okay, so it looks like they're passing. Draw. Probe. 17 life. Here you're working with. Strip Mine, Foundry Inspector, Lodestone. A lot of Foundry Inspectors. I'm going to hold back the Underground Sea and just cast this Ponder. Shuffle that. Okay, that wasn't bad. So if they play Foundry Inspector, I can Daze, or they can just Strip Mine me. But now they can do both, which stinks. That was a good draw for them. Really good draw for them, actually. Alright. Draw. Well, that was a really good draw for me. Ancestral Recall. Okay, we're back in it. So I could force this. I don't know if that's the right move. It does slow them down quite a bit. I think I'm actually going to cycle the Street Wraith to see if I can draw a blue card I don't care about. I'm going to pitch the Force. Like, right now they have all creatures, so I don't think Force and Negation is worth keeping anyway. Okay, so we're at 11. Draw. Okay. Question is, what do I get with the Demonic? I mean, I think it's supposed to just be the Doomsday. Alright, pass the turn. Now they can play Lodestone. They drew the 4th Foundry Inspector. That's kind of funny. Yeah. And then I force the Lodestone and pray for the best. So we're falling to 7 life here. I'm actually pretty close to death. I need a Miracle Brainstorm to win this game. Okay, so we want like Dark Ritual Gush. Brainstorm. I guess Dark Ritual Street Wraith could have done it. These do not do it though. Alright, so game 3 coming up. Bummer. I think we just resubmit. And if you're watching this going like, well, why don't you board in Tabernacle? Tabernacle's not really that good against shops. In fact, it's most Doomsday players would never side it against shops. So I just don't really agree with that. But this hand is really powerful. We're going to keep this. All right. Sort of wish that was a Mox Jet, but we'll take it. Dueling Mox Sapphires, okay. Mana Crypt, powerful start. Saga. Well, that's going to be countered. Counter target artifact spell. Okay. Now we take our draw. Alright, so do I want to cast the Time Walk? I think so. I can also gush here. Oh, actually, if I wait till next turn, I have a guaranteed Doomsday if I gush. That's just better draw. I think that's a win now. Gush, return the 2 Underground Seas. Okay, so now we play our land, cast Doomsday. And I can cycle in with Street Wraith, so we got it. Alright, Ancestral Recall, Lotus. We already have a force backup. Put a probe in there, I guess. Another Oracle for safekeeping. And Street Wraith? I don't know. Okay, so we cycle into Ancestral, and that just does it. Okay. Oracle can go on the bottom. We don't really care about it. Street Wraith, Probe, Lotus, Ancestral. Cycle going down to 7 life. Cast the Ancestral. Lotus. Let's cycle this, why not? Okay, and now we play Oracle. Ding dong! 2-2. We've battled back to beat what I believe is a tough matchup for Doomsday, although it hasn't looked like it based on how lucky I've gotten. Can we finish this with a positive record? I would love that. Alright, stick around for match number 5. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Alright, so I have bad news. We queued into the opponent that we just faced on Chops, so we are likely facing them again on Chops. Here we have Turbo Necro on the play. I'm going to keep this. Okay. Let's lead off on our Underground Sea. Dark Ritual. Necro. And we'll draw a bunch of cards. So ideally we want to draw enough where we have like force backup plus the Doomsday win. Okay. It's 9 cards. I don't know how many I'm supposed to draw here. Maybe go down to 6. Let's try this out. And we can auto yield to these. Look at that. Okay, and now clean up. Land. Probably want to keep 1 land. We can discard a couple Doomsdays. Fluster, get rid of these tutors. Probably keep the Time Walk. I wonder if I'm supposed to keep Oracle. Probably. I don't actually have a draw spell in here. I Maybe get rid of Force 2? I don't know. Okay, let's hope that I live. Well, I imagine I'm going to live. It's just how much turn 1 interaction does our opponent have? Alright, Mox Jet. Wasteland hurts. Okay. Draw. And no draw, Black Lotus. Okay, how do I best do this? This is going to put me to 3, and that will put me to 2. I think we want to leave the Flooded Strand in the deck. Or the land in the deck. So I probably want Lotus. Ancestral. Land. Oracle. And then like a blue card to pitch to a force, maybe. And so we're going to put the land on the bottom. And then Oracle. I might have messed this up. Okay, so I need to pay at least 1 life. So that draws Black Lotus. And then if I have to fetch, that brings me down to 3 cards, which isn't enough. Oh my. I can't use the Flooded Strand. So I'm just all in on this Force of Negation protecting me. I could lose this after that nut start because I paid too much life. I should have stopped at 8. Like a walking ballista kills me here. Workshop. Get punished, Bryant. Get punished, you dummy. So, yeah, I just get wrecked. Yeah, that's my own fault. No excuses. So, I should have stopped at 8. That was the big lesson. You might be thinking, well, like, well, if you fetch, you go down to 2 cards, but that's only because I paid the extra life. So I couldn't win without paying that life there. The real thing is I paid too much life off the Necro. My inexperience with the deck really showed there. That hurts. Okay, so we're just going to try to bounce back. Get rid of the dig, the dispute. What else was it? The flusters. At 62. Mental misstep. Oh, it was the Necro. That's what I was boarding out. I mean, if I sideboard out Necro, I can't misuse it, right? That's one benefit. Oh, geez. I should not have lost that game. Okay. Sure. Okay. We're going to pass the turn. Their turn, I'm likely to Ancestral. And then maybe even Vamping or Upkeep for Lotus. Ancient Tomb. Mana Crypt. Good start. 5 mana is pretty scary. I'm going to let that go. They can make a few constructs, but I don't think that's what I should be trying to fight here. I think the real solution is just to win before I die. Sure, you have a 3/3. Okay, so now we will fetch for Underground Sea and cast this Ancestral Recall. Okay. We found Doomsday. This is just a win. We just have to get Black Lotus. This one is idiot proof. If I mess this one up, like, it's really on me. Okay. I feel like our opponent has like a Mindbreak trap or an Archive trap or something. So we're going to keep back this probe to pitch to the force, and then Gush gets us into our pile. Alright, 3 cards left in hand. We want the Black Lotus. Ancestral. Oracle. Guess I can put another force in there. It doesn't really matter. And Steel Sabotage. So Gush draws these two. Ancestral draws these two. We got it. Okay, so Oracle can go on the bottom. Sabotage. Float a blue, and let's Gush. Play the Lotus. Ancestral. And Thassa's Oracle. Good deal. Let's just win game number 3 now. Make up for that first game. Resubmit. We have turn 1 force. We have Ancestral and a Fatal Push. Like, this hand's amazing. We just have to find Black Lotus or Dark Ritual. Mishra's Workshop. Okay, so I cannot force that. We do have the Fatal Push. They're going to name Black Lotus here. Yeah. Okay. Draw. I think we just pass. So I'm going to fall to 18. Another Workshop. 6 mana is pretty scary. Another Revoker. Alright, I'm going to cycle these Street Wraiths. I can't take the chance on them naming Street Wraith. Okay. They might name Black Lotus again. And if that's the case, we have to win without Lotus. Necro was boarded out. They have 1 mana floating. Let's remove this Daze. So I know that it's a little bit weird to force the Nettle Cyst here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to need to pass the turn on this Doomsday, and I can't afford that thing to kill me. Alright, so I'm going to Ancestral and not Fatal Push. Okay. Draw. Time Walk. Go to our next turn. Draw. So this is going to put me to 6. Black, black, black. Doomsday. Definitely want the Ancestral. Time Walk. Put the Sapphire in there. Oracle and then a Sabotage. Alright, so the Oracle can go on the bottom. Sapphire, Sabotage, Time Walk, Ancestral. Pass the turn. Alright, they have 3 cards. We're going to fall to 2 life here. Alright, so we just need to beat Mindbreak at this point, which should be pretty easy to do. Ancestral Recall. Time Walk. Go to our next turn. Draw. Oracle. Alright, we got the 3-2. We beat a difficult matchup 3 times. I'm sorry that I didn't play that well throughout the league. I am somewhat new to this deck. I am not a Doomsday expert, but hopefully you at least found some of this enjoyable. Maybe you learned something. Probably not with my play. But, you know, I hope that this was at least somewhat helpful. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Maybe I'll upload some more Doomsday, some vintage Doomsday in the future. Cheers. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.